I was on, who was I on with? I was on with Drew Hernandez at 4 o'clock. We did a 20-minute piece. Then I went on with Richard Surrett on Saga Talk 960 or 690. I forget which way it is. And while we're doing a live bit on the radio, I get a message. It might have been a little bit before. Trudeau, rumor has it, is rescinding his Emergencies Act declaration. We've spent... Justin Trudeau invoked the Emergencies Act on Monday of last week. So, that's right. Monday to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Let's just say Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That's Wednesday. 7 sitting days. You will recall, everyone, the Emergencies Act is a law that we have on the books from 1988. It is intended to respond to national emergencies that threaten the body politic, that threaten the national security, national economy, natural disasters, acts of violence, whatever. It was intended to respond, to bring in the Fed, to address those types of national emergencies when the resources of the provinces were inadequate or incapable of dealing with those national emergencies. It was royal assented to in 1988, has never been invoked since its inception in 1988. It is what comes after, not the predecessor, but the comes after the War Measures Act, which itself was a similar type of legislation intended to basically suppress constitutional rights in the time of war, to maintain civil order, to maintain society, the fabric of society. That War Measures Act, from what I understand, had only been invoked twice in its 100 and some odd year history, ironically enough, one time before, by Justin Trudeau's father, Pierre Elliott, during the FLQ crisis of 1970. Before we get ahead of ourselves, let me say thank you for all the super chats. Fair warning, no legal advice, no medical advice, no election undermining fortification advice. As far as super chats go, we are simultaneously streaming on Rumble. I'll do my best to look at that when I get there. YouTube takes 30% of super chats. If nobody likes that, you can do the Rumble rants on Rumble if you want to support the channel, but no pressure, no ask, no nothing whatsoever. I appreciate it all, but there's no ask. I appreciate it and thank you. If I don't get to your super chat and I don't bring it up like this, for example, if I don't bring it up like this, and you're going to feel miffed, rooked, shilled, exploited, do not give it. I don't like people feeling bad. I want everyone to feel good. El Bastardo accomplished what he wanted. He got rid of the protesters and degraded the police, the House of Commons, and the Senate in the eyes of the populace. Large sections of people no longer trust the government or police or financial institutions, but we'll get there. Thank you very much for the super chat. And this is not the sidebar. There will be a separate sidebar on a separate link, which I've already shared around at 7 o'clock. I know that if I do not address this before the sidebar, the chat will be bombarded with, why are you talking a Bitcoin with Mark Moss? How can you not talk about this with Canada? So we're doing it. As ashamed as I am to be Canadian right now, you give me hope. You're the man. Don't stop doing what you're doing. Sean Sandberg, thank you very much. Trudeau is literally the Toby of politicians, the Office TV show. I appreciate what you do. Thank you very much, Alec DeLeon. And then we got Derek Ticholas says, love your work. Keep doing what you do. Would love to have a beer with you one day. We'll do a meetup one of these days. When the world is free, and I shall keep the freedom fro flowing as a symbol, as a memento of those 2 years of human history where people went mad. Okay, so this is what happened. He invoked it last Monday. We all know it was a learning curve for everybody. We've been walking through it step by step. You declare the Emergencies Act, or you invoke the Emergencies Act, but the measures that you want to implement under the Emergencies Act have to be ratified along with the declaration itself, and that has to go through the House of Commons, who are an elected body, and the Senate of Canada, which is an appointed body. That had to be done within 7 days of the declaration itself, 7 sitting days of the declaration itself, which by my count would have expired tonight. I think the vote was supposed to be had tonight. before it could get ratified, before the declaration could get ratified, before the measures that Trudeau wanted to implement under his invocation of the Emergencies Act could get ratified, he had already started implementing them. Do you think Trudeau will cry himself to sleep? I don't think he knows how to cry. I don't think in his narcissistic mind he can think that anything he does is wrong. Before they could even ratify or shut down the declaration, Trudeau started implementing the measures. A protest that had been going on for 3 weeks that was described by the Ottawa Press as the hottest club in downtown Ottawa. 3 weeks without incident. 3 weeks without so much as a broken window. And I know because I walked the streets for about 12, 13, or 14 days. I asked the police, and the police said to me, one of them at one point said, there was actually a broken window. And then wink, wink, don't, it had nothing to do with the protest. This protest, which went on for 3 weeks without the slightest shred of violence, without the slightest incident. The poop hit the fan only when the police came in on the Friday, like stormtroopers out of Starship Troopers, out of welcome to the channel, Michelle. Oh, I like the boxer. Look at the boxer. Like the evil people in Star Wars. I forget what they're called. They showed up like the music video for the Flowbots Handlebars. Watch it. And they did, without that degree of violence, they brought the violence to the protest. They assaulted protesters in arresting them. They were shoving people. The Saturday that I was there, they deployed flashbang stun grenades. They deployed pepper spray. They shot Alexa Lavoie, the reporter for Rebel Media, in the leg with a tear gun canister. The violence was brought by the police at the behest of Supreme Leader Herr Trudeau, because he came down with an iron fist on the most peaceful protest the world has ever seen, I dare say. I saw what Peterson said about the banks. He's a very influential person, and he's got to be careful about spreading panic, because when people hear what Peterson had to say, I don't even want. He basically said he's got a friend in the military, and they said you'd have to be stupid to keep your money in financial institutions, and that could, that can trigger panic, and that can trigger a run. And I've heard similar stories. I have not had any problems with the banks, and I have not had any problems with my bank card. Every time I fill up my car with gas and the card goes through, I breathe a sigh of relief. Although I do have sufficient cash in my wallet just in case. The Trudeau brought the violence, and there are videos of his cops that he brought in. It looks like they were softening up the torso of a UFC fighter, knees to the torso, hard knees, and his press reporting live. Oh, what we're seeing is the arrest of a protester. No, what you're seeing is the assault of a protester by a police who came in with militaristic force. Trudeau said he didn't call in the military. He won't be calling in the military. When you got RCMP on cavalry, police with tear gas, batons, face guards, riot gear, armored vehicles. Thanks, man. That's, you may not have called in the military, but you have a bird of another feather. And you're a liar for even trying to allude to the idea that you didn't call in the military when you militarized your police. All that. Everyone was out as of Saturday. And if anyone thought that downtown Ottawa was occupied by the protesters, enjoy what you have now. A red zone that is twice the size of the protest area, but you could walk freely among the protest area happily, joyfully. Had any business remained open, they would have had good business. Now you've got a police state in Ottawa. We'll see how long it lasts for. Thank you for your work of testimony. It was very instrumental in this and in preserving all of our collective sanity. Helen, thank you very much. So he declares it, implements the measures that he's supposed to have ratified by the House of Commons and the Senate before they even debate or vote on it. He suspends the debate, which was supposed to occur on as of last Friday, invoking the Emergencies Act, suspending Parliament. Where has this occurred in the history of humanity? I don't want to upset any family that might be watching it. We know darn well where it's been heard. And there's nothing wrong with drawing analogies when the situations are analogous. 1933 Germany, people. Reichstag fire. Hitler convinces the chancellor, whoever it was, to declare the Emergencies Act or the equivalent. They suspend parliament and they round up their political adversaries and politically persecute their political adversaries. Germany 1933, not analogous to Germany 1939. He does it. I was there the Saturday. It was violent and not because of the protesters. It was disgraceful and not because of the protesters. Deploying flashbangs as the crowd literally chanted, "We love you," to the police after having literally sung the national anthem. And they were all cleared out by Saturday. Ottawa was a war zone, police state by Sunday. Checkpoints at every corner street. We saw the videos. I knew you were secret. I am not. And I do not want to be blamed for having encouraged anyone to make your own investment advice. I've diversified. Let's just say that I've diversified. And I was looking at my silver coin, my silver dollar collection, and saying, am I going to have to go to a coin store and sell my silver dollars that my grandmother gave me? Canada's abusive boyfriend returned the baseball bat to the closet, saying, "You made me do it, and now it's time to heal." It's like Stewie Griffin. What did you learn? So so that's what happens. And we've made international headlines, and rightly so. We made international headlines with the movement, the peaceful movement that was inspiring the globe to have a similar peaceful movement to reclaim our freedom, end these arbitrary, equally capricious, equally unscientific, and equally abusive mandates, to end them. I don't want to get scientific. CDC has come to determinations as to the effectiveness of lockdowns to combat a virus. They've come to determinations. You can look it up yourself. We made international headlines because of this peaceful protest, patriotic protest, people running around smiling, dancing, chanting, giving speeches. We made international headlines that embarrassed Justin Trudeau. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to get to my Jagmeet. Political strategy. Get Jagmeet and the NDP to publicly vote against their own base, the working class of the country, then revoke the measures. All those NDP votes will flow to the Libs. No, they won't. They will flow, if any of them have half a brain, and I know that they do because I talk to a lot of them. They will flow possibly to the Conservatives, and what they should do to the PPC, the People's Party of Canada. People, when I went door to door, were saying, "I'm voting NDP out of protest for the Liberals." I said, "That's good. You're just voting for Liberals by another name." Equally deceitful, I said. Equally untrustworthy. They just haven't had the time to be in power to be equally corrupt. I don't think that's right, but we'll see. We made international headlines because of the peacefulness, beauty, inspiration of that protest. And then we made international headlines because Justin Trudeau comes in and turns Canada. I don't even want to compare it to China anymore. I have a high school buddy who's in China right now, periodically messages me and says, "What the hell is going on in Canada? We're not even doing this in China. I do not even have to live under these repressive measures in China."